Hey, Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Let's jump into the latest Philadelphia Eagles news and rumors here today. And there is a lot going on based on the past couple of days of news in terms of the cycle. We'll start with Zach Ertz. And we talked about Zach Ertz a lot here on the channel and in these videos. And will he be traded? Will he be cut? We thought he'd be traded during the NFL draft. He wasn't. Well, there's a new report that is coming out today by Jeff McClain of the Philadelphia Inquirer saying that Zach Ertz is not going to be reporting to any sort of offseason training workouts as well as training camp. He's done being a Philadelphia Eagle and wants to either be traded or cut because he's not going to do anything until that happens. Now, this is interesting because this is like a firm foot in the ground. We heard rumors about this a couple of weeks ago, but I really thought that if they did not trade him, he would just come play out the final year of his one-year deal, right? He's on like a $12 million, $13 million deal, and yet the new report again from Jeff McClain is that he wants to be released or traded, and he's not going to be a Philadelphia Eagle or do anything regarding with the Eagles until that happens. Here is the tweet by Jeff McClain, quote, see it up on your screen right now, Zach Ertz understandably wasn't one of the Eagles veterans to report for the start of voluntary ferries 2, a source said. He isn't expected to he's expected to report for the remainder of the offseason program or until a situation is resolved, read, he's traded or released, end quote there. So, here's the deal. Ertz will be moved after June 1st. I think that that's officially what's going to have to happen here because right now, as it currently stands, Philadelphia has no choice because he's not going to report. He's not going to show up to training camp. He doesn't want to be an Eagle. He's done being an Eagle, and he said so as much at the end of the 2020 NFL season. Now, I think Philadelphia should want to keep him. I'd try to work to keep him, but that seems to be a thing of the past and unable to happen. You also, and I mentioned, trading him after June 1st because if you trade or release him after June 1st, Philadelphia saves about $8.5 million in that scenario. So you trade him or you release him and you save $8.5 million against the cap, which of course Philadelphia is not in dire cap needs right now, but it would obviously help going forward here this offseason. So what is eventually going to happen right now is that you're going to look for a football team that needs a tight end, whether it's someone getting injured in training camp or someone just wants one before training camp, and you'll unload Zach Ertz on a very cheap price. I mean, you're going to get like a 4th-round draft pick, a 5th-round draft pick, very little in return, even though it was once thought Philadelphia wanted a 2nd-round draft pick or a 3rd-round draft pick. That's done. It's not going to happen. The fact that it didn't happen for the NFL draft is proof that it will be a later round draft pick if you trade him. If no team makes a phone call, they'll eventually cut him. And if that's the case, it'll be right after June 1st, maybe even on a day like June 2nd. They will cut him. He'll be a free agent. He'll go sign with any team that he wants to go ahead and finish out his career. As an Eagle fan, it stinks. I think we understand that. But at the same time, you got to realize the business of this whole thing, and the Eagles did a poor job, I think coaxing Ertz to stay this past offseason. He seems to be butting heads a little bit with a GM, Howie Roseman. But who is it these days? Because Howie Roseman apparently doesn't have very good relationships with a lot of people in the Eagles organization. And so we will get a situation where he's not going to be an Eagle in 2021. That's the moral of the story here. You must understand, Zach Ertz will not be an Eagle in 2021. There is no seemingly scenario where he would be an Eagle in 2021. The best case scenario right now for Eagle fans is that he's traded. That way you at least get something in return for him instead of straight up cutting him, thereby getting absolutely nothing and leaving Dallas Goedert to be the starting tight end in Philadelphia, which he should be able to do. I just think he needs to be, one, healthier, and two, a little more consistent. And if that's the case, then Goddard's going to be your guy, and he can roll forward. And we'll all forget that Zach Ertz ever was an Eagle, even though, of course, we appreciate the fact he's probably the best tight end in Eagle history. But Goddard has the tools to make the discussion about Ertz a little bit less relevant, I should say, just because he can be a very good tight end if he stays healthy. The Eagles' offense as a whole is young, it's exciting, and if they can all stay healthy, it's very, very talented and can do some damage here going into 2021. Now, what is your confidence level in a guy like Dallas Goedert? We'll end this discussion here on a Goddard question, right? Drop a like down below if you are confident in Dallas Goedert. If you feel like, hey, Ertz can leave, Goddard's the guy, like I do, I feel very confident in that, drop a like down below for this video. If not, then you better hope you're wrong, because behind Dallas Goedert, the Eagles' tight end situation is not that good. So drop a like if you guys trust in Dallas Goedert. Okay, before we go ahead and keep going, make sure you guys are subscribed to Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I got a mailbag coming up where I'm going to answer as many subscriber questions as I possibly can, and so you should be subscribed in order to possibly get a question answered on my, what will be either Friday or a Saturday or a Sunday mailbag sometime this weekend. So go ahead and subscribe down below, as if Ertz as well is ever traded, we will have up-to-date coverage and literally get a video out as quickly as possible if that were to happen. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Go down below and hit that red subscribe button. Let's keep going here with some more Philadelphia Eagles news stories, and this one has to do with the fact that, one, Jalen Hurts has been in the building for modified OTAs, and two, just the other day, he spoke to the media and was in a full press conference talking about the current situation of being, presumably, but not officially, the Eagles' starting quarterback. So Hurts, of course, spoke on Wednesday to the media, and they were asking him straight up, they've not named you the starting quarterback. How do you feel about not being named the starting quarterback? Even though secretly, we all understand that Jamie Newman and Joe Flacco are not going to be in competition. You will be the starting quarterback, and And instead of whining about it or just being upset about it, Hurts had a great quote, and he was open, essentially saying he was open to competing for the spot and earn his keep day in and day out. And I just want to share the quote with you because I love the mentality here from Zach Ertz. Quote, "No one is above that. Everybody's got to go to work. Rent is due every day. It's always been that way for me. Always been a get better mentality every day. Grow every day. Be a better leader every day. Be a better quarterback every day. When the rent's due, I don't plan on missing payments," end quote. Great quote there. I mean, that is fantastic from what will be the starting quarterback in Philadelphia. I love Hurts' mentality here, right? He will be the starter, and he knows he's going to be the starter, and everyone and their mom knows he's going to go ahead and be the starter, and he could have said that, right? Like, obviously, guys, I'm going to be the starter, so quit asking me that question. But instead he says, no, I'm going to earn it. I'm going to go on the football field. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to earn it every single day. And that's the mentality you want from your starting quarterback. And it's why I circle back to continually saying that Jalen Hurts is in the mold of a guy like Russell Wilson. He has the same exact mentality. Chip on his shoulder, a mid-round draft pick, a second-round draft pick versus third or fourth for Russell Wilson. And he comes in as a pocket passer with mobility and has a tremendous upward in terms of upgraded ceiling. Does that mean he becomes Russell Wilson? No, it doesn't guarantee it. But I think this is another good example of what kind of player Philadelphia is getting to go ahead and be their starter. And guess what? If Hurts balls out next year, this division is extremely winnable. I mean, Philadelphia has the worst odds to win the division based on the fact they were the worst team in the division last year. And sure, Washington got better defensively and they added some offensive weapons, and the Giants are going to be healthy this year with Saquon Barkley and Dak Prescott is back. We all understand that. But Philadelphia has the best defensive line in the entire division, probably the best offensive line with healthy in the entire division. And if Hurts is good, they might have the best quarterback in the entire division because Dak has been up and down his entire career. We don't know if Daniel Jones is good or not. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, no, I don't have to say anything about that. So we'll see what happens right now, but I love the idea that Philadelphia, I love the idea of Hurts' mentality embracing Philadelphia and embracing the idea that even though he's probably going to be the starter, he's not guaranteeing it because the team won't do it, but he's going to go ahead and work hard every day to earn the starting job, and it's just good to hear. I mean, he's a mature young man. I think he's going to be a great quarterback in the NFL. I mentioned the NFC East. I think Philadelphia has a real good chance to win it. I really do. It's a safe bet right now. You can win a lot of money if you bet on that. Drop a like down below. You think the Eagles are going to win the NFC East? I think they will, and I think you guys should think that as well. And so drop a like on this video if you agree. Okay, before we go ahead and keep going here, a quick shout out to our friends at Newsbreak and their brand new Newsbreak app, which is something you should be downloading to your iPhone or Android device right now. If you don't know what the Newsbreak app is, it's very simple. It's an app that provides local relevant news content that you can kind of customize for your feed in order to get everything that you want in terms of updates on local news, local weather, and it doesn't matter where you live, right? With local sports as well, whether you're in Delaware County, whether you're in Philadelphia, whether you're across the country like I am in Atlanta. You can go and put your, of course, official zip code in, and it'll pull up all the different local news and weather, political commentary, sports that you could possibly want to subscribe to. Then you just follow each one that you want, and then every single day, boom, all of your local news is popped up in one convenient feed via the Newsbreak app. So all you have to do is go ahead to download the Newsbreak app. It's just Google chatsports.com/EaglesNB. Download that to your Android device or your iPhone, and then you can also follow our page, the Philadelphia Eagles Now page, by searching Eagles Now by Chat Sports and get all of the Eagle updates and videos that we provide up there as well. So go ahead and download the app, chatsports.com/EaglesNB, and get that ready to rock, where you get all your great local news feeds on one little app, one simple device for your Android or iPhone device today. Okay, final story here quickly. Over the past couple of days, I believe on Tuesday, the Eagles added a cornerback. Now, we didn't talk about it that day because it's not that big of a deal, but we at least should mention that Philadelphia did make a trade for the Jaguar slot cornerback Josiah Scott, and they gave away one of their way down the depth chart cornerbacks, Jamison Houston, and a 2023 sixth-round draft pick to go ahead and do so. So Scott, you're saying, who the heck is that? Well, he's a draft pick from Michigan State a couple of years back, I believe 2 years ago, and he has great upside, but he's more of a slot cornerback. So if you're hoping he could compete for the outside job alongside Darius Slay, not really going to happen. Now, Bleeding Green Nation has a great write-up on Josiah Scott. We'll throw that quote up on the screen right now. Quote, "There's reason to believe Scott might have some upside. Scott had a good ball production at Michigan State with 6 INTs, 22 pass defenses, and 1 forced fumble. He only turned 22 in April, and he had some fans entering last year's draft. Pro Football Focus had him ranked as their number 91 overall prospect," end quote. So it's a guy who didn't really get a chance to play in Jacksonville, kind of got it on a couple of snaps, but wasn't really out there. Understandable because he was a later round draft pick. But he's a depth guy you can bring in and hope that the upside upside is a lot bigger than what was expected coming out of the NFL draft. My problem is that the Eagles' cornerback room still worries me. So I got excited whenever they traded for a cornerback, and then I read up on Josiah Scott, and no hate, right? I mean, hopefully he turns out to be good, but you're like, okay, this is not the starting outside cornerback that Philadelphia desperately needs. So I guess that you're going to have a scenario where Zach McPherson is going to be competing with Avonte Maddox for the outside slot, and maybe a guy like a Josiah Scott can be the nickel. I mean, I don't know. I just don't trust Avonte Maddox, but you guys already knew that because I talk about it like every single day here on the channel. Still worries me, and trading for a cornerback, at least this one, did not help that much, and so we'll sit back and hope that one of these guys is going to win the number 2 job and that the Eagles secondary is better than we expected. All right, final question here. Grade the Eagles' cornerback room, A, B, C, D, or F. Currently, as it stands, with the addition of Josiah Scott, is it an A, B, C, D, F for me? I love Slay, but everyone else kind of stinks, so I'd put it as a C. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Ultimately, out for today here on Philadelphia Eagles Now, your latest updates regarding the Eagles, news, and rumors. I'm your host, Thomas Mott, signing off for the rest of your day.